You finally figured it out.
I was about to check.
We moved it over there in a nice place. But I could use it for you.
That doesn't surprise me. Hands off.
Yeah, I always move it to it. So.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Let's try again.
That's not true. Good thing you didn't yell at the microphone.
I wasn't.
So violent.
It's easy, Rich. It's easy.
Just glad we're on camera, man. That's all. She's got evidence. Just sit here minding my own business, and I got smacked by the mayor.
It's 7 o'clock in the evening in Gardner, Kansas. We're going to call the Gardner City Council meeting to order. Please rise with me and receive the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We have a pretty busy agenda, but it should be somewhat quick. We don't have a presentation tonight. We don't have a public hearing. So we'll move on to public comments. Members of the public are welcome to use this time to make comments about city matters or items on the agenda that are not part of a public hearing. If you wish to come forward, there's just a couple of ground rules. The first one is that we have a 5-minute time limit. There's a clock over here on the left wall, and our city clerk is going to manage that clock. Please come up, try to be concise. No public flogging of officials. No, you can do that. No personal attacks and no profanity. Other than that, it is open season on the mic. Please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Adam Cox, 285 East Skylark Street. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the governing body. I'm rising to comment regarding the recent post entitled Gardner Fact Checker using the city's social media platform. While this post has been deleted, it represents an ill-advised attack on our free press using public resources and municipal information channels in the guise of being official information. Of particular concern was that this post purported to be presenting factual information to correct inaccurate reporting. However, no one from the city even contacted anyone regarding this inaccurate reporting to attempt to correct the information if it was incomplete or erroneous. I am patiently awaiting additional information regarding this posting and the circumstances surrounding it. My hope is that this episode has been a learning experience, that it will be utilized to examine the controls in place surrounding city media channels and improve the processes and approvals required prior to posting information under the city banner. I believe that had the communications manager, PIO, been consulted regarding this post, it would not have been released to the public. The guiding principle of a municipal information channel should be to remain factual and avoid these type of skirmishes which diminish the standing of the city's communications. There is no need for our city or representatives to blacken the eye of this thriving city by the imprudent use of social media to advance a personal agenda or settle a grudge. Clearly, the post I'm referring to did not represent the entirety of the city staff as a whole. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks, Adam.
Good evening, I'm Todd Pimbleton, 131 Manor Place, Gardner, Kansas. I wanted to speak for a moment in support of an agenda item that's on the council agenda for the appointment of the chief of police. I just wanted to voice support for James Belcher. I've known James, or Jay as I call him, for being official, since he started with our department. I don't think you'll find a candidate who's more dedicated to this community, the safety of the citizens, his family, and more importantly, doing the right thing by his coworkers and his subordinates. So I'm asking, please vote yes for this appointment. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Janie Fonseca, 403 South Center. What? Put it down?
Yes, yes. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, I'm just here to, I live at 403 South Center, and that's where they put the new trailway in. And before, I always would keep mowed between the sidewalk and the street. But now that it's a trailway, and I know the next block south on to I-35 is a trailway also, and the city takes care of that mowing. So I was just like wondering why the city's not taking care of that part. I mean, it's a trailway. I consider it, I mean, it's in front of my house. But I say when they put that divided street in there and put those, the lanes, because they have now a pass or turning lane in the middle. I mean, I'm out there mowing and the traffic is like, I figure I'm gonna this is how I'm gonna die. I'm going to get hit by a car. Because, I mean, it's just right. It's so close right there. That's not a very wide place. And I'm thinking if the city is supposed to be taking care of that because now it is a trailway, then I don't have to worry about that part. So I'm hoping I know they do the snow removal on that now. They did that last winter. But, you know, my just concern is, you know, does that need to be mowed by the city, or is that really my responsibility?
And your location is 400 South Center?
What?
What's your address again?
403 South Center.
403 South Center.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.
It's all the new concrete right there with the.
Yeah, big white house. That used to be right against the road, but now it's been moved back.
Yeah, because see, it'd be nice if they would put the speed limit down. I mean, maybe even slow that, because I said before, like I said, you know, they would travel, you know, with the middle line, but now that they're staying in the lane, they are really close. I mean, you can just go with the, you know, cars going behind me and say, I won't mow it. You know, so we'll see what happens in.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello. You obviously know who I am. Jennifer Smith, 648 South Oak Street. I want to second Todd's agenda item. I've known Mr. Belcher since high school. I don't know if you'll remember me or not, but anyway, and I also.
That was just like a couple years ago.
But he was in Spring Hill. This was Gardner. So anyway, I also want to formally thank you and Mr. Winters for responding to my email over the concerns that immediately started to happen at 4:30, between 4:30 and 6:30 on Friday evening with the fireworks. And the quick response from the Gardner Police Department for answering the calls and patrolling and getting out there. I know it's very difficult, and we have a lot of friends in our community that are not obeying the law, and it's very frustrating on a lot of individuals that have PTSD, some with PTSD, and they enjoy it as well, and those with special needs, particularly my children. The one call that I did call about my son, it was over after 10 o'clock at night. My son came upstairs screaming, thinking a bomb was shaking our house. So I'm just here to voice again that reminder of how important it is that we look at all the opportunities. You guys passed this agenda sorry, am I over my 5 minutes?
Oh, no, not at all.
So to pass this, but also look at the opportunities that we need to protect it. Like I made my suggestions in the email and things like that. So I just wanted to once again thank the officers, and hopefully everybody will obey and be good the next couple of days. So thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Anyone else? Seeing no one else coming forward, let's move on to the consent agenda. It's a packed consent agenda, and I'm almost afraid to ask if there's any member of the council who wishes to remove an item from this consent agenda. Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second?
Motion,
He got it.
yeah, I know Gregorczyk made the motion. You made the second. Motion Gregorczyk, second Moore, that we approve the consent agenda. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? The consent agenda passes, and I've been asked by the council president to actually recognize the individuals who have stepped forward to fill our boards, commissions, and committees. It's a long and distinguished list, but I believe it's worth going through and reading for the record. Dave Hayden, Craig LaRoche, and Adam Santoyo will be joining the Airport Advisory Board to fill the 3 open seats there. Amenti Corey, Carrie Wilson will be joining the Citizens Police Advisory Committee. Frank Barnes and Jennifer Smith will be, thank you Jennifer for volunteering, will be appointed to the Citizens Public Works and Accessibility Advisory Committee. Tori Roberts, hey Tori, and Christy Harrison. Tori Roberts will join the Planning Commission along with Eric Ford. Christy Harrison and Andrew Taylor are joining the Utility Advisory Committee, and Adriana Metter is also joining the Planning Commission again. And I want to thank you all for stepping forward. This was a little hard work for a lot of people to get this done, and I'm just happy that we have full committees again. So I think that deserves a round of applause for everybody who's All right, thank you again. There is no business on the planning and zoning consent agenda. There are no committee recommendations or old business. So we move on to new business. This is the part I like about being a mayor. New business item number 1, consider appointment of a city clerk and administer the oath of office. And I believe that this is my deal, so I will be going forward here.
Better start the timer just in
Yes,
case.
will you stop? Sharon Rose actually came and volunteered to pick up the reins from Annie while she was out or Amy Nasta, sorry, not Annie, Amy Nasta, when she went on maternity leave. And she has done such a tremendous job, and she's actually looked at the opportunity to be the full-time city clerk. And so we are going to be appointing Sharon Rose this evening as city clerk to replace Amy Nasta, who's going to be coming back. We've got bigger and better, even better things for Amy Nasta for this. So we've got that. We'll stay tuned, and we won't pull that cat out of the bag yet. But Sharon is a longtime employee within our finance department, and has moved into the clerk's role and has done a tremendous job. And so we want to appoint her tonight. So I have a oath of office here. Yes. And I will be administering the oath to Sharon. Don't grab the gavel. Yes. I am waiting for Janika. Yes.
Oh, you're waiting for
Oh, I
me?
need a motion. Oh my God.
I move that we appoint Sharon Rose.
Second.
All right, motion Lamore, second Melton, that we approve Sharon Rose as city clerk. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Call roll.
Formality.
Yes, new business on the one passes, and thank you for keeping me straight, guys. Next time.
Thank you, Ryan.
Point of order. Point of order, and then I can just, all right? Thank you very much, Sharon. All right, I'm going to read this out. Please raise your right hand. I, Sharon Rose,
I, Sharon Rose,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully discharge the duties as the City of Gardner City Clerk.
and faithfully discharge the duties as the City of Gardner City Clerk.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Okay. Yes. Oh, here, I'm gonna do this. That's for the record. All right. Next item on the agenda, and this time we'll actually get the vote right before we actually administer the appointment. The next item on the agenda is the appointment of new chief of police, and I will have the city administrator step forward.
Can we make him stand up here or do something? You gotta put a little pressure on him.
You should roast him.
Captain James Belcher's been a member of the Gardner Police Department for 21 years. And during that time, he served as the interim chief twice. In 2014 and 2015, he served for 8 months, and then he served in the interim chief role for the last 2 months. During that time, he served honorably and has demonstrated through his leadership, integrity, and judgment that he is well prepared to assume the role on a full-time basis and to lead the department forward. Nobody's worked harder than Jay has to prepare himself for this role. He got a bachelor's degree a few months ago, and he is the poster child for continuous improvement. He has done a great job, and I have full faith that he is going to lead this department forward and do great things. So I recommend he be appointed the next police chief.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. And Jim's endorsement comes very well received, I believe. So can I have a motion to appoint?
So moved.
Second.
I have to read out the whole motion, guys. I have a motion to appoint Jay Belcher as chief of police.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion Moore, second Melton, that we appoint Jay Belcher as City of Gardner Police Chief, effective July 1st, which is yesterday. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? If I could vote, I would have voted aye too. Thank you. Thank you. Today is July 1st.
Yes.
I thought it was yesterday.
Here
Man,
to help.
thank you, Rich. I
gonna be
need
okay.
you. I need you to.
We'll get
keep
through this
straight.
together.
Thanks a lot. All right.
Alcohol up here, that's all we need.
New business item number 3. You know, this seat's not the easiest seat. Consider adopting an ordinance to amend Chapter 10, Section 107 of the Municipal Code establishing municipal court sessions. Amy
Hey,
Foster,
good
evening.
evening, Mayor
Have you
and
got
City
your new
Councilman.
digs yet?
What's that?
You got your new digs yet?
Oh yeah, I was out there today assigning desks, let them go out and pick their dust. So.
Excellent.
I think you
So
can
as
rotate.
part of that, rotate the desk.
Yeah.
You know, we might do that. That sounds like musical chairs.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. They're usually too busy for that, but that's what I'm gonna do. So, but with that, that's why I'm here tonight, and thank you for passing. That kind of plays into this too. With the completion of the Justice Center and us having our own courtroom and the availability of courtroom space, we're here to ask that we make a motion to change the ordinance to add an additional court night. It does state that the judge can add court dates or cancel them, but we wanted to make it official and add an additional court night monthly to add to our ever-growing docket. Right now, we're writing tickets to November, just to maintain the level here. So with the growth and the officers doing a great job with that, we're here just to ask you to pass that to make it official that we add one court night each month, and we'd like to go back and start for September. So even though we're writing tickets for November, with this ordinance passing, we would actually have them go back and start writing tickets back to September's date. So it will be, the ordinance would be read as municipal court sessions. The governing body of the city of Gardner, Kansas hereby establishes the second Tuesday and the Wednesday following the second Tuesday of each month, and the fourth Tuesday and the Wednesday following the fourth Tuesday of each month as the regular court sessions of the municipal court of the city of Gardner, Kansas, which shall be held at the Gardner Justice Center, 16540 North Moonlight Road, Gardner, Kansas. The municipal judge may cancel court sessions or add additional court sessions as deemed necessary at any time.
Thank you, Amy. Any public comments on new business item number 3? Seeing none, any questions for Amy Foster? This looks like a bit of housekeeping.
I'm just wondering, is the one night,
That was kind of my thought.
We wanted to start with one as an official. We're actually going to extend the time in which court starts, and then see how that goes, and then come back as we play that out and get comfortable with maybe adding a day court, and seeing what our response is for this. So,
Is there additional cost associated with this?
Court clerks are paid hourly, so they would have an additional salary. Part of what was passed in the consent agenda adds to the court-appointed salaries, so that would be what would be included, would
And
be
most
their
of that-
additional hours.
Most of that's recouped, right, from the violator?
So based on citations, court is covered by fines and fees, and so in excess.
I was asking those questions for Adam Cox.
Oh, okay. Is he back there mouthing questions?
Not back there.
Oh.
I see it on the video.
Okay.
You said hourly and salary. Which one is it?
Well, so court personnel that are hourly,
Oh.
but the court appointed, so your prosecutors and your judge are set by salary.
Thanks, Amy. Anything else? I'll entertain a motion on new business item number 3.
So moved.
Second.
Motion winner, second Melton, that we adopt ordinance, and this will be 2618, correct, Sharon? 2618, yes. An ordinance amending Chapter 10, Section 107 of the Code of the City of Gardner, Kansas, 1990, providing for dates of the municipal court of the City of Gardner, Kansas, and establishing an effective date. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Winters,
Yes.
Councilman Baldwin,
Yes.
Councilman Graversick,
Yes.
Councilman Melton,
Yes.
Councilman Moore.
Yes.
Ordinance 2618 passes.
Thank you.
All right, new business item number 4, considering authorizing the city administrator to execute a contract with Harbor Construction Incorporated for the 2019 Pavement Management Program. Chief Engineer Tim McEldowney. My goodness, I'm having all sorts of trouble with names tonight. Tim, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. This is the first of 2 items that go hand in hand. This item again is to execute a contract with Harbor to perform the 2019 Pavement Management Program, which primarily consists of about 20 miles of chip seal and a combination of fog seal pavement improvements. We'll have about 500 feet of curb associated with those same roads, and then the replacement striping for those roads that had pavement markings before, and we'll need those replaced. So the city only received 2 bids for the project. However, the low bid, Harbor, is considered to be adequate. We're familiar with the firm, with their work. They're fully qualified to do the work, and they were slightly above the engineer's estimate. Their bid was roughly $930,000. Engineer's estimate was $837,000. So at this time, we would recommend signing an agreement with them to do the work. I'll take any questions.
Thanks, Tim. Any public comment on new business item number 4? Seeing none, questions for Tim or for the staff? All right. I did have one question. That was, have we had Harbor do the pavement management program in previous years?
I don't believe so. They have done pavement work for us before. I can't recall if they've actually done the pavement management work, but they have done work for the city before.
Okay. Have they done any chip seal work at all within our city?
They haven't. Again, I can't recall if they've done it here. They have experience doing that work, though.
Do you know other municipalities where they perform this type of work?
I'd have to get that information for you.
That's fine. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Something for the Friday minute memo, I think. Okay. We have a motion on new business item number 4.
So moved.
Second.
Motion Moore, second Melton, that we authorize the city administrator to execute a contract with Harbor Construction Incorporated for the 2019 pavement management program in an amount not to exceed $929,437.80. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? New business item number 4 passes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And Tim, one question really quickly. Do you know when this work will start?
Well, it usually takes 2 to 3 weeks to get the paperwork processed and get them going. So I would estimate probably 3 to 4 weeks before they'll have a notice to proceed.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, moving on to new business item number 5. And you're still here, Tim, I forgot. This is yours too. Consider adopting a resolution authorizing the city of Gardner, Kansas to construct improvements to certain main trafficways and trafficway connections and authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds of the city to pay the cost thereof pursuant to Kansas statutes annotated 12-685 at SEC.
So yes, the purpose of this item is to bond the work described in the previous item, which of that work, $640,000 worth of that work is eligible to be bonded. So that's included here. And then we'll have curb replacement project that will be occurring this fall. It is on separate streets from this work. And the estimate at this time for that is $250,000. So the total amount anticipated to be bonded is the combination of those two, plus the cost of issuance, which comes to $925,600.
Great, thank you. Any public comment on new business item number 5? Seeing none, any questions for Tim on this item? And just for clarification, this is all coming from special sales tax funds. That's going to be back in these bonds, correct?
Yes.
Special sales tax from, yes, thank you. Do I have a motion on new business item number 5?
Second.
Motion Gregorczyk, second Moore, that we adopt resolution 2027, resolution authorizing the city of Gardner, Kansas to construct improvements to certain main trafficways and trafficway connections and authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds of the city to pay the costs thereof pursuant to Kansas statutes annotated 12-685 at SEC. City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Baldwin,
Yes.
Councilman Patrick,
Yes.
Councilman Melton,
Yes.
Councilman Moore,
Yes.
Councilman Winters.
Yes.
Resolution 2027 passes. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. All right, we'll move on to council updates. Your records in jeopardy.
Somebody will go.
Staff, does staff have anything for council? I'm going to start with Gons Garcia and utilities.
Yes, sir. Just a status on the water usage. The water usage so far, we're below the 2018 trend on an average 300,000 to 400,000 gallons. We will continue monitoring the usage, and especially this 4th of July or Independence Day, and see what happens. But
Thanks.
I think weather is contributing to the low usage. I hope it
Imagine.
continues.
Thank you, Gons. Appreciate it. Parks and Rec, Jason Bruce.
I just wanted to remind everybody there's a little event happening this Thursday out at Celebration Park.
Yeah.
Our Independence Day celebration. Food trucks, bounce houses, zip line, some big time artists coming in. Gates open at 3:30, and Dylan Carmichael, who's our first act, goes off at 4. So knock on wood, weather looks pretty good right now. So
Great.
hope it holds off.
So do we.
And then also, Ms. Fonseca, and talking about 403 South Center, I will check with Mr. Kramer, and we'll look into that and see. I don't recall that being a trail beforehand when they redid the sidewalk, and so I don't know if we did any mow or snow, but we'll look into that.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Larry Powell, Business Economic Development.
Just to follow up on the fireworks comments were made earlier by a lady, an individual. The proper time to shoot this year are the 3rd, 4th, and 5th from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. And so we would urge people to follow those rules and regulations to stay out of trouble if they could. And then we did have 8 fireworks stands this year, which was the same number we had last year as far as selling fireworks are concerned. And they will be selling from the 28th of June through the 5th. So that would be the end of that.
Great. Thank you, Larry. Tim, anything else from Public Works?
Yes, just an update on the crosswalk, 183rd Street in Mulberry. The design is almost complete. We received the first set of plans for our review. So that'll be a rapid flashing beacon when that's installed. So I would guess we're probably a month or so away from beginning construction.
And that's similar to the beacon that's at the Brittany Court crosswalk, correct?
It's similar, but the flashing is more like what you'd see on an emergency vehicle.
More strobe than.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, great. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
New Police Chief Belcher. Anything from law enforcement this evening?
I just have a few things, Mr. Mayor, if I could.
Please. You have the floor.
I want to thank you, the governing body, city administration, and the department heads for their support. It really means a lot to me. I got a little choked up over here. I was hoping that wouldn't happen, but I did. Next, I'd like to thank the men and women of the Gardner Police Department. They're a wonderful group of men and women who are dedicated to serving our community, and it's a pleasure to be associated with them. I'd also like to let the citizens know, 21 years I've been serving the city. I'm going to continue to work my tail off. That's not going to change. Last but not least, my wife is here tonight, and she's been a big supporter of me in my career, and I couldn't have done it without her. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate your commitment to our force. New city clerk.
Nothing
Sure,
for me.
sure, it's okay. Matt. Nothing tonight. Nothing in finance, huh? Everything's just wonderful on the financial side.
The budget hearing coming up on the 15th.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So we have one on the 15th, which is that before the next council meeting, so. It's the very beginning of the council meeting, yes, but very important. But the thing is, he couldn't say it the next council meeting because it would already be taking place. Forget it. City attorney, Brian Dank, nothing. City administrator. Okay. All right, we'll start on my immediate left for council updates for staff. Rich Melton.
Wow. All right.
I usually don't make you first.
I know.
There's a reason.
I'm flattered. So, real quick, I know we've already talked about this, Jason. Can you kind of give us a breakdown on the Cornerstone Park issue and
the water fountain.
Right, the fountain, so you can tell the world what I kind of told them already. So,
Yeah, so the fountain is on schedule for next week. Getting some parts in, put it together, test it. Hopefully it runs smooth. If not, we'll fix it. With the weather that we've had this year, getting way behind on mowing. We had down mowers. We had a major playground renovation at Celebration Park. We had the leak at the pool. The golf course we took on the back 9 this year. Not to mention our record number of tournaments. So with 7 parks, guys, I think we've been hanging in there pretty good. So I appreciate citizens letting us know with concerns like Ms. Fonseca did tonight, and urge them to continue to call in or come to these meetings and let us know. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
thank you. I think you guys have done a great job. So I just want to make sure we get it out there that parts and time. I mean, so.
And priorities.
Priorities.
That's true.
So.
That's true.
So the next thing is, some of you probably know I spent a lot of time in some awesome fireworks stands. I got 2 more to hit, talking to those vendors and stuff. And so one of the most exciting things that happened when I was there is at one stand I'm there, and this person comes in and we're talking to him, and Casey's there with me, and I go, so you guys live around here? No, we're from Overland Park. I'm like, yes, the money is coming down the highway to us finally. That is such a nice feeling. I was like, we want your tax money. Come on down. So, do you know anybody in Gardner? And they go, no, we're just going to shoot them off illegally in our town. I'm like, you do that. I'm not. We don't do that here, but you do that up there. So anyway, then we had another one we're at, and the person rolled in right there at Walmart, and their kid's running up, and he's got this ball shirt on, and I said, you guys are from Olathe, right? And they go, how do you know that? Well, your kid's Park and Rec Olathe shirt, so it was pretty obvious. But so we talked to them for quite a while. Same thing. They have friends that they actually come to town and shoot off fireworks with their friends every year. So it's really exciting to hear these stories, and I'm like, man, this is great, because those people are going to eventually go, hey, we need to just move down here. They're tired of the oppression up there in the northern part of Johnson County. They'll move down here for some freedom. So anyway, I just thought I'd let everybody know it was really exciting. So, yeah. The Justice Center is the grand opening. Everybody's got to make it to it. Now, Chief Belcher, sorry, it's hard to have it. Anyway, it took us through the Citizens Police Advisory Committee on a tour after our last meeting, and I mean, I'm telling you, we We spent over 2 hours in there. I stood outside forever in the dark. That place is amazing. I mean, the lights and everything that are going on in there and the facility itself. I highly recommend anybody who has a chance, come by there on the grand opening, because it is a fantastic facility, and it is, I know it's going to be one of those things, and other agencies are already coming here to check it out. You know, they're coming to look at our facility from all around the metro to go, man, this is what we need to do. So it's pretty awesome. So, and final thing, I've got bad news for everybody. I won't be here on the 15th. I know. I'll be in Mexico on my mission trip, so you will have to try to have fun without me. I know it'll be difficult, and I trust you guys can make it happen. So.
I don't know how we're gonna manage, but I'm sure we probably
I know. I thought I'd build you up for it now, so you're not like shocked. So,
Okay.
Anyway, good luck. That's it.
Thanks, Rich. Councilmember Gorsick.
I agree with Rich. I'm excited about the Justice Center. Chief Belcher gave me a tour, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, and I'm sure it's come a long way since then. So I appreciate all the thoughtfulness that went into the design and practicality of that facility. So, and thanks to the citizens that voted for it. Wildcat Run and Moonlight, I saw that we put some aggregate or rocks or something on that right-hand turn. Have we looked at that to understand if there's any opportunity for curbing there? Okay. I agreed with Todd, and the vote's already in, but again, congratulations, Chief Belcher. On the fireworks, back to Mrs. Smith's comment, do we have a hotline, or do citizens just call in?
Yeah, they just call 911.
Okay.
It's a call for service that comes out.
Okay,
But if they do call the station, we do send an officer to that area.
okay. And then to Adam Cox's point on fact checker, and we can talk about this offline, but have we looked at the checks and balances of that opportunity for learning with respects to that post?
We've put some pieces in place, so that's not going to be an issue.
Okay, and will that be shared with council, or?
Well, I mean, anybody on council has the authority to ask any member of staff any question they like.
Okay,
If you'd like to, we can.
I'll get with Jim.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I had.
All right. Great. Mark Baldwin, and yes, darn it, you guys have blown my opportunity to beat the record.
Oh, yeah. It's all over.
Thanks, Lee.
I just
No,
want
not
to
you, it's like
comment that
those guys.
everything I've seen from the city has been excellent in saying Independence Day. I appreciate it. Thank you for taking that to
Tried
heart.
hard.
I
We've
appreciate
tried
it.
hard.
Happy
That's all I
4th of
have.
July.
Okay.
Yes, I saw that.
His pet peeve has been resolved.
Yes. Todd Winters.
Just quickly, I was happy to see the Safe Routes to School on Moonlight, and I've kind of mentioned this to Michael Kramer, but a citizen brought me some information. But St. John's Trace is still kind of on an island out there, and yeah, he offered up a couple different solutions to that. But I would like to see us maybe start looking into some solutions to get them at least some kind of a sidewalk or a trail to get them over to Waverly, where they can get to the sidewalks there.
Jason, we had actually discussed that, hadn't we?
Yeah, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, is it CIP later down the road?
I believe we have a land purchase and a development of a park, but I don't remember seeing the trail in there. I have to double check on that.
I thought the trail was actually part of that Streamway Park.
No, then that part is the second phase.
Second phase.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility we might be able to push that up and then combine that with a Safe Routes to School grant?
Possibly, once we get phase 1 of Kill Creek done, possibly looking at doing another grant through the county for phase 2.
Okay.
And he showed me a couple different options as well. So maybe we could look at, not just back in that corner back there, but some other
phase.
options as well. Yeah. That's all I had.
Great, thanks. Lee Moore,
Yes.
you can take as long as you want now.
Real quick, yeah. So the record's not beaten yet, so I'm still good. Right now, if you're sitting at home wondering what you should be doing instead of watching this video, I would highly encourage you to get to Gardner Airport right now and go check out the C-47 World War II Normandy invasion airplane. Really, really cool. If you haven't ever seen one, I don't know what all they're doing with it. I know there was a potluck dinner and all that was being put on by the VAA Chapter 16. This airplane's only here for the night, and then it's flying out tomorrow. So there is a cool video on Facebook that you can see. They've actually videotaped it coming in and landing it at K-34. It's really, really cool airplane. So there's that. Then I was going to ask something about street sweeping. Do we currently have that in our plan to sweep up after 4th of July? Is that something that we have done in the past? Independence Day or 4th of July?
I was gonna correct him.
Everybody's gun shy because of work now.
Yeah.
That's honestly probably a micro question. I know we talked about it when the ordinance went into effect. Not sure if we do main thoroughfares, if we're doing neighborhoods, but I'll follow up on that and let you know.
Yeah, I think it would be good to talk about that and see if the council would agree to have a citywide cleanup using street sweepers after the fact. And hopefully we make enough sales tax money and enough permit fees to cover the cost for that.
Yeah, I do want to be careful though about, at the same time, as talking about the street sweepers, and I think it'd be a good idea for beautification purposes, that does not absolve the homeowner of responsibility of cleaning up their mess. First of all, they shouldn't be setting off fireworks in the street at all.
Right.
That's it's a hazard to emergency vehicles, and you could damage other vehicles, and it's just not the right thing to use public right of way. If you're going to set off fireworks, you do it on your apron of your driveway. You do not do it out in the street.
And that brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
How much is the fine if someone's caught breaking the law with regard to fireworks?
Amy, can you help me with this one?
It varies. If they bring it to court, they have to go before the judge, and she can find anything from $0 to $500.
$0 to $500
Yeah.
for one offense, for one little firecracker.
Well, and it's because it's a violation of an ordinance,
Yes,
Right.
and so that is her range on ordinance. So
but it's at
Okay.
the discretion of the judge. That's pretty wide discretion.
yes.
Yeah.
So, but we have started enforcement action. I know we haven't talked about it much here, but this year we're handling things a little bit differently from the standpoint of fireworks violators. If we have folks that are blatantly violating the ordinance, we are going and enforcing. We've actually had some enforcement actions this weekend. Thank you, Chief Belcher. And we intend to continue that action through the 4th of July, through Independence Day. The 3rd, yes, the 3rd. But even after the fireworks window closes as well on those evenings when fireworks are allowed, because we have to understand that there are other populations within our community that do have sensitivities to these, and we have to be willing to do that enforcement. We can't enforce the whole city, but we will be enforcing targeted areas of the city. So use those fireworks at your own risk, basically, going forward.
Mr. Mayor, going back to Lee's comment about the street sweeper, I'd piggyback on that. If we could street sweep, I think we'd also offer an opportunity for us to re-audit some of these curbs and so forth that need to be looked at that we talked about a meeting or two, because it'd get a lot of that debris that's washed out from this past winter and these early spring rains. So it might be double duty between the firework debris and rocks and pebbles and so forth.
I would be
So
worried about mixing those two because separating them is going to be an issue whenever you go to dump that.
It's aggregate.
you're gonna catch it one way or the other.
That's,
Yes,
A couple more things.
yes.
I wanted to say, add to the thank you for all of the volunteers for the committees and for the advisory boards and commissions. It's very important, and it's a great way to get involved with the city. As many of the folks that are on there know, and I mean, Tori knows, she's been up here before, and it's just a good way to stay involved and stay plugged into what we're doing up here. And I think you just, you can be a lot, you can be not only helpful to the community, but you can also probably alleviate some of your anger towards things if things aren't going the speed that you want them, or you don't see the change that you want to see. Frustration. Yeah.
Not really anger.
Not anger necessarily, but
Small.
I see a lot of anger in some of the things that get posted on social media, and just misunderstanding of how things actually work. You can find all that stuff out if you just go to these committee meetings or even volunteer. So kudos to the folks that have done that and stepped up. I really appreciate it myself personally. I also wanted to extend my congratulations to both Sharon Rose, and thanks for stepping up for City Clerk, and to Chief Jay Belcher. That's it.
Thank you, Lee. I personally am thrilled, especially on Planning Commission, we're bringing on some veteran members who have been, 2 of the 3 have been past chairmen. So that's going to bring some stability to our Planning Commission, and I really do appreciate them stepping up. And for Tori, I'm glad you did reapply. I was very happy to see that. So thanks again.
I'm excited.
Yeah, so are we. Thanks. A couple of really quick things. We did mention already the enforcement, and I appreciate the fact that we are moving forward with that. Secondly, almost said it again, the Independence Day celebration, July 4th. It's going to be something special. We got a Big Time Grain Company. We've got David Neal coming in as our main act. I'm missing a couple of others. Probably. I'm sorry. Love and Theft, and Dylan Carmichael. And then obviously we've got all sorts of cool things. If you haven't tried the zip line, you should. I haven't yet. I think there's a weight limit, so that's going to be a problem. Well, thanks for the shuffle, Ryan Dank. City attorney.
He's thinking about liability.
Yeah, right. That's his job, man. He's over there going, no.
Thanks. But go on out, try the zip line, the bouncy house. So it's how your kids do it, and we would love to see a huge crowd out there. Bring your folks in from out of town too. I think about 2/3 of the folks that came in last year were from out of town, and it just brings people into our community, gets them to spend money, and we love money, right, Rich?
I love money.
Yeah, and
Huge fan.
Exactly, and so please. Invite folks from all over the county. I think it's a real showcase for us as a community, and it's just the start of the summer-fall festival season for Gardner, with the Grand Slam Beer and Wine Fest and Smoke on the Trails coming up. And I don't know how you guys do it with the pittance of a staff that we've given you. I really appreciate your staff. I really do, and thanks again for stepping up on this big event. So, with that being said. I know it didn't get beaten. I couldn't control that. Anyway, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, Melton, second. More that we adjourn. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? We are adjourned. Yeah.
So how are we?
Well, we'll have to have a discussion. Yeah.
So that's what I was trying
You want to?
Yeah. So you need to be in there?
Yeah. He's already on his way.
Lee, I think I might need you.